9th of January, Rudy here. Welcome to the Daily Ninja Show. We go through shares ETFs on the ASX and US. We start off with the tank ETF, MVR, with all our big global ASX miners listed on the ASX. So it was flat today, finished the week up. Look at the daily chart. A nice pullback would be all in line, so still going according to plan. The popular VAS was flat again, so that's being led by, so miners are up for the week and the banks were down. That's why the VAS is flat. So we're still coming to test support here. And that's led by this guy CBA. So he doesn't look, I can see that measured move coming down to here. But it hasn't happened yet. Okay, America. So just stalling at the highs. The Russell. So the American stock market's being led by the middle, this Russell 2000 now, because the Nasdaq's not doing anything at all. Okay, so I have a bit of a deep dive into the US dollar. Someone asked about should they be hedging their international investments, because the US dollar is going to crap itself because it's got too much debt and they're fucked and they're etc. So the Dixie, the US dollar, is basically made up of the euros, over half, the JPY, the GBP. So those three, you add them together, basically, and it makes up this picture here. And as you can see, long term, it is on a zone here of support. But if you look at a weekly chart, that there's those declining wedges. That looks quite bullish. So if we go and look at the euro, we'll have a look at these currencies. So the euro, you could say, has a bullish bias, so that would push the US dollar down. But then if we look at the JPY, that's going down, which pushes the DXY up. And then you've got the GBP USD, which long term is down, currently flat. The thing with currencies, like America has a lot of debt, but so does every other country. And even you look at the euro, the European economy's not that hot. It's going backwards. So they're all in debt. So that's why people are moving to gold, because it's all paper money. It's not backed by anything. So how do you properly value a currency? Yeah, you can use interest rates and GDP and blah blah blah, but so then we look at the Aussie dollar, USD. So we're really just trading in a range. I can't see any reason for us to break out of this range. But in saying that, I prefer with the gold miners. You've got GDX and MNRS. I prefer MNRS because I'd rather invest in something where you haven't got the currency affecting your return. It's just the underlying investments making the right decision, not trying to pick whether I should be hedging or not. But in saying that, I don't think the Aussie dollar is going to. That's about it. And then I did have the Chinese. Yeah. So this is the Chinese one against the US dollar. So that's actually forming a nice. So the Chinese one looks like it's going to break out against the US dollar, but it doesn't make up a smidgen of the Dixie. So there you go. That's currencies. Okay, gold. USD gold price. So it looks like we've found support here, but no clear direction. So the same with Aussie dollar gold, our gold index. So we're just, and basically this is what all our big gold miners look like, just sitting there waiting for direction. So the miners ETF, so it wasn't a bad finish to the week. GDX, bit of expectation built into today's pricing. Newmont on the ASX was flat today. Northern Star looks like it's going to trade in a range until they report their earnings, I would say. GDXJ, so that was a pretty good finish last night, but needs to wait for gold. And Evolution, just the same. Alright, so Dr. Copper. So copper price hasn't finished the week yet, but a bit of a shooting star forming there, but it's fine as long as we hold 5.5. The wire ETF is actually up 1% today, so it's actually holding quite well. That's as good as you could expect. If you look at some of the underlying holdings like First Quantum, that's not a good candle. Anto, that's not a good candle. And then you got like Southern Copper, it's a very nice candle. In terms of our local lads, so BHP, you finished the week quite strong. Nice comeback today. He said, I'm still young. I was expecting a pullback here. Anyway, so Sandfire, so it's a pretty lazy candle. Capstone, it's a lazier candle. And DVP, it's a decent finish. So CopJ over in America, very strong. So big holding in there is TGP. Now in terms of our local producers that are looking still attractive to get into, so AMI and 29M, and then in the development space, CST, he looks like he wants to go. And then I've got a new one that I added today. They're LLM, drilling an old copper gold mine near Charters Tower. Beautiful declining wedge break. So that's a new addition. Uranium. Okay, so spot price just hanging at resistance. URNM. Fantastic week for URNM people. So that was led. So Kamiko, strong. Kaza. Look at a week. Look at that week. It's not due to the spot price though. Then Sput. So this is interesting. He's meant to track the uranium price. So the uranium price isn't doing this. So I wonder if people buying this know something. URNJ, looking okay. The ones underneath it, like UECs, so these are the big holdings in URNJ, and Denison. They look very strong. How was that? Triple U. Yeah. Then we got our boys. So we basically sprinted on Monday. So the candles, that didn't finish as great as those American ones. I think because if you're in America, you're buying what's listed on the US. That's why ETFs like URNJ give you that, but you've got to be in America too to buy that. Although Uranium does give you international. Well, it gives you Kaza and Kamiko, which you can't buy here. Boss at resistance. Bannerman, not enough petrol. DYL sprinted too hard. So you'd have to expect some pullbacks there. There's not much else in that space. Okay, rare earths, so REMX. So that's said no, it's enough for me for now. So it's the same as Linus. So it's funny, wasn't it? It had that one day where everyone went hooray. It's got a gap there, so got to expect that to get filled. MP materials, so that's at resistance. The leaker, so that's good. I mean, that's just having a nice lazy pullback, and none of our little RE boys did anything. Lithium. So the futures price just keeps going up. LitP, ETF, just keeps going up. Pilbara. So that's look at that. Now it's getting right back up to these old highs here. Far out. IGO. So they're a long way from their highs. Liontown, that's a strong candle. And then again, nothing in our development space. All the money is going to producers. Okay, oil. Okay, so oil is actually looking. So big candle last night. So we could finish. So we'll see. We could finish the week bullish, which would be funny when everyone's bearish on oil. Natural gas, trying to eke out a bottom there. Okay, so now I've done a little fundamental comparison for our oil stocks. So the magic numbers we're looking at. So this is a production to market cap. So Karoon is actually the cheapest, 0.1, but they've got a high cost to production, whereas Woodside's on 0.2, but he's got a $7 cost to production. So that cost reduction outweighs Karoon's low production score, and the king is looking good. Now, interestingly, Santos has got the same fundamental scores as Santos, but his dividends crap, and his chart's not as nice. And I'm biased. Then we got Beach. So they similar score to Woodside and Santos, bit more higher expensive, but not that far away. So probably Karoon. So they're Karoon, that ASIC hits them. But then just to throw a spanner in the works on fundamentals, so you've got Horizon. They're on a 0.4, so twice as expensive production volumes. And ASIC 3 times the cost of production of Woodside and Santos. And they can kick out a 14% franking credit. And the chart looks fantastic. So what's the moral of the story? follow the charts. All right. So fuel ETF. So it's so today was an up day. That's because last night. So the XLE, that's the same as fuel, but on the US had a big day because Exxon, Chevron, they all had a bit of a, after Monday's ecstaticness. So we'll see. And Oxy, well, that looks like a better candle. And the old OIH, the oil services, had a strong, well, it hasn't finished, but that looks pretty good. Other, there was, we're going to, I think, manganese and coal today. So the manganese price still hasn't broken through, but still like that JMS 5.4 div. There's LMG, the developer, and FRB. It's a nice candle. Oh yeah, the food. So the food ETF, it's looking nice. Coal. So this is your thermal coal. So still eking out a bottom there. Okay, the coal ETF over in America is pretty bullish. So New Hope. So they're in this type of coal. Nice big fat div, 8.6. So he's just cruising along. Yell, you'd have to probably, he looks like he's at support there. What's his, he's dropped his, they did pay a decent div, but they've dropped it, so now it's only 2. Problem with our coal miners is bloody government's royalty schemes can take out all their profit. Government. Coking coal. So that's looking good. So SMR was a buy there. So that's looking 20. Oh yeah, that's they basically get 75% of the spot price. Right, and here's here they've got to pay 20% of the spot price royalties to the government. Whitehaven Coal, so he's in the tank. And this guy CKA is over in Indonesia, met coal, big resource. It looks like he wants to, having a punt, wants to go again. Okay, finish off with the girlfriend. What are they doing to her? So daily chart. That was. Let me just get rid of that. Go to. Okay, so let's go to an hourly chart. Just tidy it up. Okay, so last night was a bit scary, below this support here, but setting up quite nicely for now. Let's see if Mr. Slammy comes out tonight. So SILJ, so we'll see how tonight finishes. Zinc, just hanging in there. Lead, a bit of a pullback there. How did XMET go? XMET is a bit of a shooting star candle there. And then in terms of our silver guys, it was all pretty boring. Everyone's expecting a pullback. Alright, that's your daily wrap. Till next time.